check, and I think we'll be okay. Okay. We're gonna start with of course, Asia and the Japan studios, then we'll go North America, and then Europe. And then we'll talk about some potential pickups. Did you guys also see EA doesn't have exclusivity with Star Wars anymore?
Mm-hmm.
That was like yesterday, I think.
They don't? Oh, is that because of the open world game that I think it's Ubisoft's making?
I think it
right?
expired. I think they terminated the contract.
Contract.
I think it's Ubisoft.
Ran its course.
I think it expired. I think they terminated the contract.
Contract.
I think it's Ubisoft.
Ran its course.
You can hear, you can see Jay. He looks so tired. My beautiful, sweet cousin, working so hard.
Yeah, don't say that. I'm at work.
What's up, Seth? How you doing? Yeah. Yo, what it do? GG Nation, GG Legion, Jafella again, Strauss, man, the GG. Welcome to another podcast. Shout out to Lou for helping me start the year of 2021. We did 2021 in gaming a week ago, I think. And then we got him back. We finally were able to wrangle the biggest fish back. Finally got him back on the pod. I've been wanting to do this for like 5 months now. But we're going to talk Sony first party. What's up, Chad? JJ got a cut. We're going to talk Sony first party and what they're going to work on. Giving you guys a heads up. You guys know JJ is on the pod, so there's a high potential of spoilers. But we're going to talk spoilers anyway. We're going to talk a lot of spoilers in this video game wise. We're going to start with Asia. Then we're going to go to North America. Then we're going to go to Europe. This is strictly first party, not second party, third party. We're going to talk about their first party studios. I think 13 to 14 studios they have. I think Japan studio in general is really huge, so it might be multiple studios, but I didn't write every single game each studio worked on. I just kind of wrote the most popular to kind of give the panel here kind of the vibe what they work on and what direction they can go in. And then at the end, potentially, we'll talk about pickups and stuff like that. Some gaming news was that EA's deal with Star Wars is over. And Star Wars announced a new open world game, and then there's also a I said Indiana game. There's an Indiana Jones game that also was announced, but I don't know much about it. I know the Star Wars game is open world, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Indiana Jones is Bethesda doing that.
Oh, okay. So it might be exclusive then. Okay.
It might be an
Could be.
Interesting. All right. Microsoft knows. We all know Microsoft needs a bunch of those. They need a bunch of exclusives for sure. But shout out to everybody. Thank you for all the love and support. We got a couple new subs, but I don't know who they were because it did not pop up in the notification. Thank you so much. Welcome to the GG family, GG and friends here. We're in episode 400 billion divided by 2 squared.
400 billion.
We're actually, this is episode 55, I think. I think this is episode 55. I wrote it down. But yeah, episode 55, Sony first party. So we're going to have some fun here. We're going to start with Asia. But how is everyone doing? How's the panel doing? How are you doing, Lou? Besides your fantasy team, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm tired. Long day. I feel like I say that a lot, but it's true. My fantasy team, forget it. It's just completely ruined for now. And ESPN basketball, but that's okay. We'll live with it for now. Well,
and my cousin, my beautiful cousin JJ, how you doing today, bud?
Very, very good. It's Friday.
All right, it's Friday.
Yes.
Friday. Interesting hire for the Lions, potentially. The tight end coach for the Saints. It's going to be interesting. It's funny that they went from Bellamy to Saleh, and I guess both of those guys bombed in the interview, potentially, I guess.
Dan Campbell. You remember Dan Campbell?
Yes, I do. I remember him playing, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him playing, and he played tight end. But let's have some fun. We're going to talk gaming first party. Let's start with Japan Studio. So they're known for Bloodborne, Knack, Patapon, Loco Roco, Ape Escape, etc. etc. A bunch of other stuff they have done. Where do we think they're gonna go? This is probably the one that's a very big mystery because their genres are all over the place. There's so many different ones. I think the last game we got from Japan was Studio Japan was Bloodborne, correct? I think with 2015. That was a while ago. That was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Who made Sekiro?
That's that is well, I can't believe they're escaping. I always play the game From Software. They're not owned by Sony. From Software is not owned from Sony, but Miyazaki from Software from Software.
Okay. He does
worked on Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, yeah.
When Dark Souls 2 was being created, it was a different team. It was the FromSoft team, but Miyazaki worked closely with Sony Studio. It's a Sony IP, so
Gotcha.
technically they made it. But
Okay.
I'm going to throw this out there because I think I thrown it out there before. I would like, obviously, a Bloodborne 2, but that's not what I'm going to go with. I want to see like an Ape Escape remake, man. We've gotten the Crash and Spyro trilogy remastered. I would like the Ape Escape trilogy remastered, or at least the first one. Like, what do you guys think? I know it's a game. It was the first game to introduce the DualShock controller on PS1. And I remember playing the demo and not liking it. But I would like to see it and be modernized a little bit and play it and catch those monkeys. What do you guys think?
I've never played Ape Escape.
Yeah.
Not once.
I played it. It was good. When I look at this list, the first thing that popped into my head, and you guys know how much I'm a big Knack advocate.
The biggest Knack fan in the world.
First thing that popped into my head, no lie, was a Knack 1 and 2 next gen upgrade.
Oh god.
Like that was for some reason that popped into my mind. Like when I just saw it on the list.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my goodness, here we go, Knack 1 and 2, boom, next gen upgrade, here we go. But also with Bloodborne next gen upgrade,
that's probably happening. That's a really good point there, Lou. Next gen upgrades. I think that is legit happening. Bloodborne. The reason being is when you play Bloodborne on PS5, it's literally the same frame rate and everything. It is not better at all. It's the same game. Where all the other PS4 games you play, they run better, they look better. Like Bloodborne is literally the same, which means they literally didn't touch it at all for PS5. I mean, so to me that screams remaster. So that's a good next gen upgrade. Go ahead, Lou.
See, I mentioned this in the last part. I think the word remastered is next gen upgrade now.
Yeah.
They'll upgrade the graphics, fix the frames, basically slap a new coat of paint on it, new trophies list, and then they'll sell it as a standalone until Bloodborne 2 comes out.
Yes.
When that will come out, I have no idea. I thought that was kind of going to be announced at like the Game Awards or something. Yeah. Like a surprise.
Kind of a bummer at the Game Awards, really, this year.
Yeah. So
that's a great thing to bring up. I mean, that is the new term, right? Because everybody got tired of remake, remaster, right? Everybody's kind of lukewarm on it. But next gen upgrade, that's like the thing. And there's been rumors. I know this is not first party stuff, but of Final Fantasy VII Remake getting one, and then first-party stuff of God of War and Ghost of Tsushima. That's been rumored and listed around, which would just make a bunch of sense, man. I mean, I was watching Lou play God of War when he was getting his platinum on PS5. All three of us are very lucky to get a PS5. I know a lot of you are still waiting on that, so, just keep grinding. Don't give up. I thought there was a drop today.
Dell.
There was a drop on Dell,
and then Newegg just had one, but they're sold out.
Yeah, it went quick. Okay.
And
I didn't see the Newegg one.
Which one?
Yeah, Sony Rewards had 25.
Oh, Sony Rewards only had 25 consoles? Oh my goodness! Wow, that must have went kaputs. But just keep grinding out there. It's funny that Lou brought up Knack. I think Knack is done. I think no next gen upgrade out there. Let's forget about Knack. Bloodborne 2 would make the most sense, but Lou, I think, hit the nail on the head. I think Bloodborne next gen upgrade. I was gonna see remake or remaster, next gen upgrade, and I think something new. We might see something new. And what I would like to see is because the PS5 did not sell very well in Japan yet. I mean, it's early, of course. It sold bananas everywhere else. Like, you can't get it here in America or Europe, but in their home country, they're failing a little bit. And I would like to see, I know they have the two top JRPG dogs. I know they got Final Fantasy in their corner and Persona in their corner, but I would like them to make their own exclusive JRPG, their own new game. Maybe a Legend of Dragoon remake, remaster or something, or make Legend of Dragoon 2 or something, or just make a new JRPG. That's what, in my eyes, I think they should. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I think that's what kind of what my gut is feeling about that. Let's talk about Team Gravity, which is a very small sample size. They haven't done much. They've done Gravity Rush and the Siren series. If you don't know what the Siren series is, it's basically Silent Hill. It's originally the Silent Hill team that left Team Silent. They got signed by Sony, and they became Team Siren, and they made those Siren games for PS3 and I think PS2, maybe? And they were not bad. They were okay. They weren't like, it wasn't like the greatest horror thing. I don't know if you guys remember ever seeing Siren on PS3 at all. That's like way back in the days. I got a pretty good idea what they're working on, but I want to hear from you guys first. What do you guys think?
I honestly have no clue. Like, that one was I can't even think of it right now, to be quite honest.
I think you know. I think you know deep down. It's just not coming to your head because I put you on the spot. We've talked about this plenty of times in this podcast. What is the big rumor that's been flying around?
No idea.
Starts with an S, ends with a hill.
Silent Hill.
Oh, Silent Hill?
Yes. I think they're doing the Silent Hill reboot. I think that's the best way to say it. I think they're doing the Silent Hill reboot. That's been the rumor floating around for a long, long time. I know that's owned by Konami, but there's been another Konami rumor flying around that, Sony, this rumor's been going around, and I think there's some truth to it, and I think it's a natural progression. The originators of Silent Hill, why not give them the keys to that and let them do it again, right?
So I'm confused. I thought Kojima was doing that.
Kojima would probably oversee it, possibly, because he was going to do Silent Hills, and that got canceled. Bad blood with Konami. Maybe they fix that. Maybe they bring Kojima in as a potential pickup. But yes, he was in that rumor too. But to me, this makes too much sense.
Yeah, just looking at it here, they haven't made a game since 2017. Yeah, Gravity Rush 2.
Yeah, and I don't think, unfortunately, as I am a big fan of Gravity Rush, I don't think they're doing another one anytime soon. I don't think Gravity Rush 3 is happening. It could potentially be new because Sony is great about this, about their first-party studios, letting them flourish and do new things. But to me, the Silent Hill rumor, I think there's some credibility to it, whether it's Kojima or not. Again, why not have the original creators on board? It just makes sense to me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I definitely.
I don't know if they're going to be doing it though.
Yeah, what do you think, JJ?
It just seems like Kojima is all in on making a horror game, and
it's very true. I mean, that has been flying around. But you can have him produce it, or you can have him direct. I don't know if he'll be director, but he would have some sort of power over it.
Well, he has his own studios, though, man. Unless they pick up his studio.
Yeah.
But he
could be a collab.
I think I know it's later down on your list, so I won't speak too much now. But I mean, it wouldn't hurt. I don't know much about them. I've never played any of their games. Yeah. So.
You ever played Silent Hill?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Back in the day, obviously Resident Evil outlasted Silent Hill, but those were the top two dogs back on PS1 back in the day.
Little JJ was a little pussy, so he didn't. I didn't play too many horror games.
Yeah. Resident Evil was my first, and I was scared of shit, especially with Nemesis and stuff.
Horror game, or I loved horror movies, but I never played the games for some reason.
Yeah. It's different when you feel like you're the person being chased.
I only played a handful of games too, so.
Yeah. What's up, Chuck? How you doing? You've been lukewarm on modern remasters. What's up, Savage? How you doing? I feel you. I mean, I don't think they're going away though, Chuck. I think it's gonna happen. All right, the final one, Polyphony Digital, and we all know what they're making. The game's coming out probably pretty soon. It's Gran Turismo. That's the only series they've worked on. It's been a juggernaut for the Sony line. I think Gran Turismo Sport has sold like 35 million copies or something ridiculous. Like, it sold a lot, which probably that is nobody here in America. That's a big Europe thing. They got a big pro circuit over there, Gran Turismo and everything. But obviously, we already know they're working on Gran Turismo 7. That's the easy one. When do you guys think it's going to happen, though? When this year? Because I thought that was going to be a pretty close launch game.
It just says to be announced.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What do you think, though? When do you think it's going to happen?
I thought it was coming out this year, 2021.
Yeah.
It does say 2021. It is coming out in 2021. Well, usually there's usually a big game at the start of the year, but
that's probably going to be Ratchet and Clank is what I'm thinking.
The console launch is what kind of going to bleed over.
Yes. Yep. Like the 6 to 8 month period they give it, whatever.
So I would say summertime.
Okay.
That would be a good release for them.
What about you?
Kind of. I think in summertime it would have more people have the people have the console. And
good point.
Yeah. I would think that I thought it would be 2021. I thought it would be around September, but summertime seems to be perfect. Maybe, when they get more and more consoles out there, Ratchet and Clank should be the game that starts out the year, to be quite honest. Think too. But I don't know anymore. I mean, we haven't heard anything about it since before the Game Awards at PlayStation's Direct. So we'll see.
Gran Turismo or Ratchet?
Ratchet.
Both of them was the PlayStation stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what Gran Turismo. I thought it was September. I thought it was 2021.
I think Lou might be right.
Yeah.
It looks like they released the game between October and December. Okay. Every other Gran Turismo has been released between October and December.
It's very interesting. I like that all three of us are going to have different answers, because I actually thought I thought Ratchet and Clank is going to be the first game announced, but I also thought potentially Gran Turismo would be around the same month. It would be in like February or something. Because I'm thinking Ratchet February. We're going to get Returnal March. How the hell are we going to squeeze God of War and whatever Horizon 2 into this calendar year? By the way, this is a very good problem to have. These are great problems to have. Just, when are we ready? Because to me, I feel like Gran Turismo 7 is done. I think it's ready to be shipped out, printed. It probably already is printed in a box somewhere. Maybe they're working on bug fixes or something like that. Yeah. I think this game is ready, primed to go. I do agree with Lou. I think Ratchet is the first game, but I really felt in my heart of hearts, and I would bet my blue eyes white dragon on it, that was going to be soon. That was going to be really soon. It was going to be like February, March, something like that. But Lou could be right. I mean, they could hold off on that game if they really want to. JJ's right, too. They could do it in the summertime. Sony has shown not to be fearful anymore, because Ghost and Last of Us Part 2 are only 3 weeks apart, like almost like 2.5 weeks apart. And they both sold really well for the most part.
Well, the thing is, you want to release it during a hot time. You still want to make the most money that you can on its release, and not something that you're going to make later. So, the more and more PS5s that go out, the better. Yeah. Because that gets released sooner.
I read somewhere that they stopped production of PS4s to kind of match the demand of the PS5s.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pro. They stopped the production of the Pro. Which
Lou's
that console's
favorite console.
That console is pretty bad. But
I love my PS4 Pro.
Elo has had a lot of problems with his. I don't know if it was just Mother Nature destroying it, but his freezes up on him all the time and stuff. I don't know if he's just playing everything on boost mode though. That could be it.
I will say one thing. I have a Pro and I bought the Slim, the anniversary one.
Yeah.
And when I saw my Pro and I played the Slim, it just runs so much faster.
Yeah.
Everything loads better, whereas the Pro, it kind of just drags along.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like there's just something about that console compared to the Slim. Yes, I know the boost mode is the key feature there, but I would rather play without the boost mode and not deal with potential problems. To be quite honest, but
I got you. Yeah. You guys make good points. Like good points. There's not enough PS5s out there. We know Miles Morales sold like 70% less than Spider-Man 1. So that's really interesting to think about.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard for them to release PS5 exclusive. I know Miles Morales wasn't, but just to release just straight PS5 games right now with... I mean, there's a bunch out there, but not what they want.
Yeah, it's in 1 or like 10 people's hands. So. Like, it's really good points. You guys want to sell as much as possible. I think... Again, I think these are all good problems to have. I don't think these are bad problems at all. Microsoft would probably kill to have a problem like this right now.
No.
They've, Lou and I talked about in 2020 last week. It was we kind of don't really know where Microsoft is kind of gonna go. They're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Well, the console itself was equally as hard to get for me.
Yes,
I do have both of them. But little Max, my 8-year-old, his birthday's coming up in 2 weeks. He's like, Dad, I'm going to save my birthday money so I can get Halo. I'm like, dude, you don't have to. You can save your Christmas money. That game, you're not going to get that game till 2022. So
yeah, they say this year, but it's going to be interesting.
The pre-order date is December 31st, 2021.
Yeah, that's a bad sign.
The very last day.
Back in my days of said place, like that in January, like 30th, usually dates like that mean they don't know.
They have no clue.
There.
I will say one thing now.
Go ahead.
It's not a bad problem for PlayStation to have, but it's a bad problem if we can't get consoles on shelves sooner. Mm-hmm. Because don't get me wrong, when you buy that console, you're gonna buy those games.
Yeah,
but ideally, you want to buy those games before there's a price drop. Mm. So, you want to meet the.
Ideally, Sony wants you to buy those games digitally.
Right, but you want to.
That's 100%.
You want to fill the demand of the console.
Yeah,
and that's what they should be doing at this time. Mm-hmm. And then when all those exclusives come out, you buy those exclusives day one. Instead of, let's say, Ratchet & Clank comes out tomorrow and you get your console in April, you might be able to wait on it and wait for a sale. You know what I mean? Whereas you just got the console and you want to drop some money into these new exclusives that are coming out.
What's up, Joel? How you doing?
Because with everything out there that's so cheap, like some of the things on Twitter, you could get these games cheaper now. And I'll talk about the physical copies, not the digital copies.
Yeah, right? Physical copies drop really quick.
You're right, because I'm sure Valhalla sold pretty well. Yeah, because it was one of the only on both consoles. I'm sure that game sold very well, and Spider-Man not selling well is a little surprising. But you're comparing it to a game that sold really well, though. So
yeah.
But what
we're comparing it to the first one. The first one sold like. But
that's what I'm saying. You're comparing it to the first one, and you're comparing it to like the top.
Yeah.
So,
but what happened with Valhalla though? It came out, and then like a month or so later, it went on sale for $45.
Yeah.
So ideally, you want to meet the demand of the console first, and then you rattle off those exclusives so you can make the most profit.
Oh, I agree 100%. it's those games that all those games have been on sale now at least once.
Yeah, it's just with physical games, they go quick, man. Like the Game of the Year stuff, they drop within a week usually, price wise. Digital, it's hard to count those numbers because they never really do, but that's what they're really targeting. That's what they care about. So, for example, you buy your PS5, but they don't have any copies of any of those games. All those games are sold out. Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, Ratchet and Clank, whatever, Gran Turismo 7. You go home and you just buy all those digitally.
I have not put a disc in my PS5 yet.
I did. I finally did. I put Destiny 2, which I didn't need to, but I did.
Did you buy that physically?
Yeah.
I thought I bought that digitally. Jacob might have bought that digitally.
You and Jake were game sharing at the time.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. That was like 16?
Yeah, 2016, yeah.
I haven't touched that game since
I haven't touched that game since 2016. But I popped it in because I'm like 2 trophies away from the plat. But let's get to where we live, North America, the great North of America.
Let's talk about Canada, guys.
Let's talk Insomniac, because we just brought them up because I think that they're the prime target for the first big release of this year. They've done Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank. They are a first-party studio now. I gotta point that out. It's a first-party studio now. They are owned by Sony. They were bought for I think only $2 million, which was a good deal, really good deal, I think. Ratchet and Clank, Sunset Overdrive, Spyro series, and Resistance. Man, I miss Resistance a lot, man. The Resistance series was really good on PS3. That was such a fun set of games. Right? Which one?
That was a launch title, wasn't it? PS3?
Yeah, the first one, yeah. But I have the first and second. I never played the third one, but the first and second one were really good. Really, really good. Of course, the Spider-Man series is a big hit. Of course. Ratchet and Clank are a big hit. The only Spyro was a big hit. The only thing that's not a big hit for them was Sunset Overdrive, and that was exclusive for Xbox One. I don't want to blame it all on that console because Sunset Overdrive was a fantastic game. It was a really good game. You played it.
It should have sold way better
if it was on PS4.
Well, no, just it should have. I mean,
yeah, it should have sold way. Yes, I agree. It should have just sold a lot better.
It's a really good game.
So I think we all know where they're going from here because they're probably managing 2 to 3 games right now. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna start off with JJ. Where do you think we're going before we? What do you think they're doing? Obviously, I think you know what they're doing.
Well, Ratchet and Clank's coming out soon.
Yep, boom.
Ish. They have a team working on Spider-Man too.
Yeah, yeah. You think there's a sneaky third project in there? Is there a Sunset Overdrive remaster?
That's what I was thinking. Is maybe a Sunset Overdrive. I don't know how contracts work, but it'd be nice for them to remaster the game.
Well, the thing is, the reason why they didn't do that game for Sony, this is some funny news. This is the reason why they went on Xbox. Insomniac wanted to own the IP of Sunset Overdrive. But Sony said, no, we want to own it. So that's why they went to Microsoft. Microsoft's like, yes, you can own the IP, just make an exclusive game for us. But now that doesn't matter anymore because they own Insomniac now, so it's technically their IP anyway.
So to maybe re-release that game on the PS5 is a possibility Chuck said he hates the remastered thing, but
yeah.
If you've only had a PlayStation, you didn't get to play this game, and that game is fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's super fun. You got it free with gold sometimes. I bought it day one. Loved the game. Very fun. Spider-Man himself is the main character in that game. Yuri himself, which he did a fantastic job with that. It's funny how he ended up getting the Spider-Man gig too, which is hilarious.
If you're releasing the game, JJ, just a question for you. How much would you charge to remaster it for the PS5? How much would the game be?
It's got to be, what was $40, right?
Spider-Man technically was $20 because Miles was $50, and then it was $20 extra to get the Ultimate.
I meant to do the tippy top. It'd be $40. I think is how you would handle that.
That's what I thought too. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking 40.
Because
Crash was what 30. And I think Spyro released at 30, 40, somewhere in there.
40.
It was like 40.
Go ahead, Lou.
See, because what I was thinking is if you're gonna release that game, then you're gonna release it at 20.
All right.
And the reason I say 20 because now if it comes out this year, there's a whole bunch of exclusives coming out this year.
Yeah,
Not a lot of people. I mean, we know about Sunset Overdrive, but what about the average casual PlayStation?
Yeah, average Joe, right?
Well, I'll one up you, and that's going to be your PlayStation Plus game of.
I was
July.
about to just say that too. Yeah, what if it's a Plus game? That'd be cool.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, you could do it as a Plus game. You can even do it put on PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
So
make that catalog better. Which PlayStation Now has been steadily improving. It's not the greatest thing. I know Game Pass is still better, but
not Game Pass, but yeah, it's getting. They're putting more games on there, but until they put first-party exclusives on there, they're not.
Yeah.
Day one, it will never be Game Pass.
They do it for like a month. I think they had God of War on there for a month.
But it's I think it's something you could do.
Didn't they have Death Stranding for a month too? I think they had Death Stranding on there for a month, didn't they? PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so.
The best
damn walking good studio
simulator, delivery simulator I ever played.
Weirdest fucking game I've ever played. I couldn't believe I played so much.
No, Bugsnax is the weirdest game you played.
No, Bugsnax might be the Bugsnax. No spoilers.
What do you think, Snorp Dog?
Might be the darkest game I've ever played. My game is. It's not, guys. It's not what you expect.
Do we have to phone in Prandy? Do we gotta call, Cramble right now?
Yeah, it is not.
Calling a lifeline.
You renewed your Xbox Gold, Joel. Awesome, cool. I think. Go ahead, Lou. What do you think?
You have Game Pass, play Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. What do you? JJ pretty much laid it out. Do you agree with him though? Ratchet and Clank. Spider-Man 2, most likely. Is there a secret third game in there?
I think with Insomniac Games, I think we pretty much know what's coming, and I wouldn't expect anything more because Ratchet and Clank, and I want them to focus heavily on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So that's where, if I had put my thinking cap on, if I was their studio, I would want to make sure that 2 comes off with a bang.
Yeah.
And
by starting the game as Peter Parker, and then he's killed instantly. Just explodes in midair.
Sure.
With a magical bat from Mysterio.
No, it's a golf club, guys. We know how Sony does theirs.
It is. It's a golf club. I should have said golf club. I forgot. But that's on me.
The magical golf club from the start. 4.
Let's dive into it, though. Lou has a good point. They want to put all the eggs in the marbles because Lou and I did a spoiler cast of Miles Morales. We weren't able to have JJ on it. I want to pick JJ's brain about it a little bit. Let's dive in spoiler-wise to Spider-Man. I just replayed the remaster. Absolutely fantastic game. I thought it was better than Miles Morales, for sure. I thought, mostly from my perspective of Miles Morales, I thought they tried to do the same thing with Finn and Miles, with Peter and Doc, but it's almost like it didn't have enough time to develop. Obviously, it was a PlayStation 5 launch game, quote unquote. I know it was on PS4 as well, but it was a PlayStation 5 launch game, and it was only about 8 to 10 hours. You could probably beat it in 3 to 5 if you just go straight through the game. JJ mentioned this not on stream or anything, but in the group chat, that it was like the best DLC ever. I thought it was better than a DLC. I thought it was worthy of its own title and name. After. Go ahead.
It's that chunk right after where it goes from DLC to.
Yeah.
It's just enough to be a game.
Not every game needs to be 30 plus 100 hours to be.
I wish more games weren't.
To define great. The thing about Miles, even though it's like 8 to 10 hours, let's just say average Joe playthrough, 8 to 10 hours, because that's probably going to be your playthrough. You're probably not going to do everything, but you'll do a good chunk of things, because the game gives you time to do that. With Miles, for me, we played too many games 8 to 10 hours that are better, and that's like Uncharted and some other stuff. I thought Finn and Miles' relationship was really good, but not nowhere near the level of Peter Parker and Doc Ock, because you see Doc just completely lose it, just get demented, and you see it. And for him, Peter, that is his father, because Uncle Ben's not around, and I like that. I liked how they focused on that, and you saw that with the 3-act structure, Act 1, Act 2, and stuff. But that game's hella long. Spider-Man 1's pretty fucking long. It had a lot of time to develop. Lou's perspective, I'm not going to eat his words because that's his thoughts, but from his perspective, he just, he thought of it as like a DLC game, side game, not too worried, but in a lot of ways, it is a direct continuation of the first game. It's just Miles' story. To me, I just thought the webbing, no pun intended, wasn't sticky enough. It wasn't completely there, but Finn was cool. The boss battle was cool. I like what they did with Tinkerer. It had some great highs and lows, but just nowhere near the level of Spider-Man 1. And I hate to say it that way, but I think that's the best thing. Go ahead.
Well, Spider-Man 1's probably, 4 times longer? So you do get to develop those kind of relationships. I thought they did really good for the time they had.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just thought that today... Oh, go ahead, JJ. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, without going into too much, I just thought they focused on
Let's get into it.
Well, I like how both games did a character that we don't see a lot, because you always see the Spider-Man story. They redo it all the effing time.
Yes, they do.
So it's cool to see Mr. Negative in the first one where they kind of, develop that.
Even Troy Baker's character, he's he's like a C-list Iron Man character, and they did.
Yeah.
Obviously, Troy Baker always nails it out of the park, but he was just kind of in the background. You didn't really even.
Yeah, and it's what a lot of the Marvel stuff out lately has been doing, because you see all this. Even the MCU does a great job of taking, or not, for the most part, taking minor characters. I mean, no one knew about the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were irrelevant.
Black Panther wasn't a huge name in the industry, and they were able to make really good movies and stuff. So to take the Tinkerer, when he pitched that idea, they got to be like, who the fuck is the Tinkerer?
Yeah.
And
we've seen the Tinkerer in the MCU, actually.
Yeah. So
it was in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, so they do a good job of that. So I enjoyed the game.
Me too.
But it's like everything in our society now. It's too, some things get too PC and.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely really towed that line a lot in that game, big time.
But Miles is a cool character.
Yes.
I like the abilities he has, and I had fun with it. But like Luce, I think it's like you buy Borderlands, you get 5 fucking DLCs, and this was 2 of them put together.
Yeah, true.
But it's not like those. It wasn't pointless minus. It was a story. It does add on to the Spider-Man 1 story.
Yep.
And the end credits really add on to it, making super excited about Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Where there's the direction they're going with it. For the most part, it's. I want to know how much bouncing back and forth between Miles and Peter you're going to actually do.
I also pitched this idea to Lou for Spider-Man 2, but what if they have like a Ghost of Tsushima Legends mode where you just play as like the Spider-Verse Spider-Man?
Well,
you could like be Spider-Gwen, you could be Miguel, Spider-Man 2099, and you have all these cool powers. But we could play together. All 4 of us could play together. That'd be cool.
And that would be fun, and something Insomniac might consider now, seeing what the Ghost of Tsushima DLC, the multiplayer is really fun. I don't know if enough people are playing it, but Levi and I had a lot of fun grinding that for a while.
Getting all the exclusive, God of War and Horizon, and Bloodborne,
Shadow Colossus, and Bloodborne. So, I'm excited for Spider-Man 2.
Where do you want it to go then? Like in Spider-Man 2, what do you want? What do you want to see? How do you want a co-op experience or do you want something like you just, you hit like kind of go like Grand Theft Auto, you like push in the right stick and you flip over to Miles and he's like in a different part of the city or something?
No, I want it to linear. I want a story. That's why the first one was so good. And why Miles is so good. Because no matter how you feel about the character, the story was well written and well executed.
Miles is very infectious. His smile is very infectious. When I replayed the first game, he's basically the young Peter Parker we don't get to see because we're playing as older Peter Parker.
And
he lights up the room a little bit, even though with all this tragedy and stuff like that. And they both feel different enough because
that's what I was going to say. They felt like different.
Yeah, when I went back to play Remaster, I'm like, damn, I can't do the stuff that Miles does. Yeah, you know,
they do
and
feel like
it felt different. It felt really different, actually. It did not feel the same at all.
They put care into it to make it feel like you weren't the same.
Yeah.
So, what were you going to say, Lou? You probably forgot.
I was gonna say, in terms of Miles, I think that Miles is is today's modern day standard game. Whereas, and I said this to Levi before, I just don't know if I said it the last pod or in the party, but it's like if this game came out like let's say 5-6 years ago, it would be like a DLC.
Yeah,
like it would be a DLC of Spider-Man. You know what I mean? They would add it on there, but this is kind of what we deal with today is how short it is, and I think it meets it, especially with the price that it originally came out for. That doesn't include the Spider-Man remastered. I still think the story was good.
Yeah, it was $50. Yeah, that's a good point.
It was. Yeah, I still think the story was good. But after playing the remastered again, I think Peter's was better. And as I said before, Peter's story is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Just like when you play the Walking Dead Telltale games, it's Clementine.
Ooh, be careful.
You leave Javi alone.
You tread. I'm only on the second chapter. I don't like spoilers. I'll spoil everyone else.
Yeah, I know. Very hypocritizer of you, JJ.
Fucking Mickey Mouse and Kingdom Hearts 2,
fucking told everybody here that fucking Aunt May croaks. Live on stream. That part hurt again to see. I was like, damn.
A year and a half after the game came out, guy. Come on.
It wasn't a year and a half. It was Game of the Year discussion.
8 years, 9 years.
I won't say any more than that. I won't say any more than that. But I'm just saying.
No, I know.
No, we can talk spoilers. I already said this is a spoiler.
No, but I'm not going to spoil it for JJ.
No.
Walking Dead. Yeah, don't spoil Walking Dead. Don't mention that everybody dies. Oh shit! Oh my god!
I do know how season 1 ends.
Oh, okay.
I have seen.
It's really good. I mean, it's fantastic.
Oh no,
so we kind of got the idea of Insomnia.
I'll go watch Guardians of the Galaxy over and over again. I know how that moves. I've seen it. Still just as good.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ragnarok? Naughty Dog. Probably their premier studio for a long time. I want to pick JJ's brain about this for a long time, about Uncharted 3, so I'm interested to talk about this. But Naughty Dog, they just had a big title release in Last of Us Part 2. They usually work on 2 separate games at the same time. Last of Us Part 2, won a bunch of Game of the Year awards. I think it won like 146, Despite my criticism of the game and stuff, I don't take too highly of, the Game Awards and stuff, A lot of people do. A lot of people really do. I do think Last of Us Part 2 is where they did drop the ball. I think the story isn't as good. I think it's highly overrated story-wise. I don't think it's good as the first game. JJ and I had a really great 2.5-hour discussion, but I really do feel like a lot of people protect and coddle and White Knight Last of Us Part 2. You can't say anything bad about Last of Us Part 2.
It's this carousel that because I love the game. Yeah. I thought it was a great continuation of the first one. But it is this circle where Last of Us Part 2, the fanatics, I mean, they'll go and trash Ghost of Tsushima, which is another game I truly loved.
Yeah.
And it's the same. It's the other way around, too. Ghost of Tsushima fans, I mean, the toxicity of a chat about The Last of Us Part 2 or Ghost of Tsushima from both sides, fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know why you can't just enjoy something.
Yeah. Like, what's the big deal? Like, if you really do enjoy it, I have no issue. I'm going to say that right off the bat.
Well, that's the thing is, it's okay. It's okay.
That's
why
I don't get invested with Game of the Year. It's because people.
No, it's
like
Persona 5
for me, it's
probably
fun.
should have won the year. Yeah,
100%.
But it's the fact that, I hate the word hater.
Yeah.
It's okay to criticize something.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, criticize it. But to start criticizing something and then bashing someone who enjoys it are two different things.
Very true. That's a good point.
So if you're, be critical as you want. It's your opinion. You can judge a game however you want. There's games Elo loves Kingdom Hearts. I don't enjoy them. I don't enjoy Final Fantasy. Those games just don't do anything for me. But I'm not going to call Elo a stupid piece of shit because he likes them. Because I don't enjoy what you want. We only get so long on this earth, guys.
Yeah.
To fucking bash everyone.
Well, it's just so easy because when you're behind a message board and Twitter and it says, it's just, there's no consequence for it.
Yeah. And I get
the thing.
Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. I was going to say is that when you look at it that way, you got to look at it from my side real quick. I didn't buy the game. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna support the game, and has nothing to do with some people will jump to conclusions to why.
Yeah, I'm
not gonna support it.
People do all the time. That's true.
Yeah, I'm not gonna support it because the story sucks.
Yeah,
I played Last of Us Part 1 for 150 hours. I think you've seen it already.
You beat it like 5 times, right?
I played it like 5 times, and I really enjoyed the story of Joel and Ellie, which is funny to me because I saw Neil Druckmann post today that they got a director for the Last of Us TV show.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that's going to last, considering that Joel and Ellie's story was just how it played out in Last of Us Part 2, with Joel being axed and Ellie just losing everything for no reason.
Yeah.
Come on, Lou.
Well, I'm just saying though, is that's not going to be that's not going to be a long series.
Yeah. Before we continue, if people don't know who Naughty Dog is, they did Crash, Jak and Daxter, Uncharted, and Last of Us. Those are the 4 IPs they done. And go ahead and continue, Lou. I just want to get that in there because we just kind of jumped right into Last of Us Part. Because JJ, White Knighting Last of Us Part 2, we're gonna make you cry on the stream. I'm telling you.
Well,
you're gonna cry in front of everybody right now.
All I'm saying is that you look at it that way, but look at it from somebody on my side that's really enjoyed the first one.
Yes,
and felt like that they did us wrong with the second one because Neil promised us that he was gonna do right by us. And he just totally threw everything away. Like, he threw that whole storyline of Joel and Ellie away. And I'm not saying characters can't die. I just believe characters should die for a purpose. Of course. For a good purpose.
I hate when they jump to that, too, as people just go, you're mad because Joel died. It's like, no. Like, there's more to it.
I've explained it so many times of why I don't like the game. I went in depth on message boards with my buddies, a whole bunch of people, and some of them, the first thing they jump to is not anything story related, but in particular of what's going on in the real world.
Yeah, true.
And I'm not gonna go into that, but for somebody that's dedicated so much time into it,
love you too, Derek.
It's just sad the way the story in particular turned out, because I have no problem. The graphics are next-gen graphics.
Mm-hmm. Graphics
are
great.
The gameplay is really good. I think that
the accessibility, too. Absolutely amazing.
The accessibility, the story, which is what Last of Us is. You don't play Last of Us.
You don't play Naughty Dog games in general for gameplay. Let's just be honest. You play for story.
You don't play
and that's the biggest gripe about this game I have is the story. Go ahead.
Right, and the story is just... They just completely threw away something that was special in the first game and tried to put over another character that we just are supposed to love.
Yeah.
After she killed a beloved character, and then we're supposed to sympathize. Like, that's just not how it works.
That's a very ballsy move, though. I give Neil a lot of credit.
It's very ballsy. It's very ballsy, but Abby was not established to our audience.
Yes.
And it's gonna.
Yes. And I think that was I think that was his purpose, to see if
it would work.
He used these characters, like you said, that are beloved, kind of do like a social experiment because you are meant to hate her. You are not supposed to like Abby.
Yes.
At all. And then they make you play as her, and then I believe me, Lou, I get why people. I get 100%. I enjoyed it. I get, and I know it's not just Joel's death because, like you said, characters can die. I thought, in my opinion, Joel died to move the Ellie story, and if you're not satisfied with the Ellie story, then I get why you're pissed off.
Yeah.
Well, Ellie's story sucks.
Yeah, and then I know why you're pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellie's story. I mean, she loses 2 fingers. You know, she gets
Hold on, let me go get the guitar. Let me go get. I want to play.
Go get the guitar.
Let me play some Pearl Jam right now, baby.
She loses. She loses her love of her life, and she don't even get to. She has the opportunity to kill Abby and revenge Joel's death, and she pushes out on it.
Yeah.
And it's like why? We did this whole fast forward time experiment, and you had a family. We had a family. And
yeah, I don't understand why the game just didn't end at the family part. Like, it just made no sense. Like, if you're gonna go through it, if you're gonna give that up,
right?
Even after,
same story as Bug Snacks, guys. 100%. Addiction and revenge will fuck you.
Yeah, but we already know that, though. We played 100 games. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 had a big revenge plot, and it was done better.
And he didn't, and she didn't go through with it, and
Yeah.
But the lesson in Last of Us 2, it's the same lesson in Last of Us 1.
Yeah.
How long are you gonna keep? How long are you gonna keep lecturing me that lesson? Like, show me something different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the game really falls short in terms of the storytelling. And Ellie's story and Joel's story. I mean, you're making a whole TV series out of the story, and it's just completely terrible. It's terrible.
They might change some stuff though on the TV though. The one point I really do like that you made was the lead up to this game because it was very messy. The lead up and the promises, there were so many lies and the awful way they handled YouTubers and got channels struck down. Like, I don't agree with a lot of that stuff. They tried to protect this game, then they shelved the game, and then it leaked, and the next day it's like, oh, okay, it's coming out now. Like, it was a very messy situation from the get-go. And to me, Last of Us Part 2 symbolizes new Naughty Dog. Uncharted 4 was the last pure Naughty Dog game, in my personal opinion. Last of Us Part 2 is new Naughty Dog. Neil Druckmann's vice president. He doesn't have... Well, he has people to answer to. I mean, there's a shit ton of people in the Sony headquarters that he has to answer to, for sure. I think there's a lot of story in terms of... I think a lot of people spoke that, Ghost was better. There was the top 10 sales games, digital sales games in 2020, and Ghost beat Last of Us Part 2, and then Last of Us Part 2 had a horrendously bad drop-off rate after the first week. Like 75% was really bad. I think a lot of that, I know a lot of people might not count all the outside influence, like the lead up to the game, but that all counts. All the lies and everything and the misdirection, you can't kill dogs. When literally you have to kill a dog in one certain scene,
Very, very vital.
You can't do nothing. You're stuck in that window unless you actually do the cutting there. Very interesting. Neil, I think, poorly handled a lot of criticism for this game. I think he attacked the fan base very wrongly. And the difference between the TV show and this, what's the biggest difference?
What, Neil's not going to have as much say?
No, the TV show will have seasons. You could keep stretching it out. We waited 7 fucking years for this. And then the average Joe that is not understanding the drama that's going on in Naughty Dog or what's Sony's trying to protect this game, and a lot of people, the gaming media tried to protect this game. This going up to it, they watch the commercial and you see Joel grab Ellie and be like, hey, you think I'll let you do this alone? And then they buy the damn game and Joel's gone within the, you play 30 seconds of Joel and he's gone in the first 2 hours. You're going to have a bad taste in your mouth a little bit, I think. And I think, unfortunately for me, Last of Us Part 1 was better because the characters were a lot better. I felt like the characters in Part 2, A, were fucking too many, B, very hollow, and then they took, Ellie, such a great character in Part 1, the hope of the game, I don't want to be alone, and we got to stick this out together, and her and Joel finally accepting that bond, going through all that hell together, whether you question Joel's action or not at the end, which was great for you to question and see what side of the coin you're on, to kind of go back to that to Part 2 and tell you that you're wrong, sorta, not really, but you're wrong because her dad, Abby's father, hugs a zebra, or saves the zebra. What about the point of, in telling him he's a good character, what about him not thinking about 2 fucking seconds about Ellie's life? Instead, he just wanted to kill her instantly. Don't tell Joe. Why don't you put it on, what's her name? Was it Maria? The leader of the Firefly Girl. Why don't put it on her? Make her the villain and be like, so you could be more sympathetic to Abby's father. Again, I don't really give a shit that he saves a zebra. That does not show a good character. The fact that he didn't think 2 fucking seconds before taking a little girl's life, or wanting to anyway, shows very poor character to me. My personal opinion.
It was more than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And also, if you go back and you watch when he said we're gonna do right by you, he answered a question.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember what the question was?
That he wouldn't do. He said he wasn't going to do this game without Joel and Ellie. I remember there was a question about that.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the question was, are you going to continue the Joel and Ellie story?
And he said
something, and he said yes. He said yes, we will.
Yeah,
we're gonna do right by you. Now, we're doing right by us. Neil knows how to make a good game.
Yeah, really he's made some of the best. Some of the best.
I think Neil knows how to.
But who was with him though? Bruce. Bruce obviously kept him in line because he wanted to kill Elena. He wanted to kill Joel in the first game. He wanted to do a bunch of different stuff. It was really interesting to see how he wanted to take each game, and then Bruce was like, let's kind of keep it this way. Because Uncharted's more supernatural and, because of the amazing acrobatic skills of fucking Nathan Drake and the inhuman fucking strength to climb shit. Where Last of Us 2, Last of Us 1 and 2, they try to be more grounded. But it's not there. There's some cool moments in the game, for sure. I understand I see both sides of the story. I understand where everybody's coming from. I think it's just an incredible disappointment. Because this is not a normal sequel. This is not we're not talking Star Wars Battlefront 3. We're not talking Assassin's Creed, blah, blah, blah. This is something really special to a lot of people. The game of the decade for a lot of people. 25 million sold. And I feel like they kind of just dropped the ball, and I think that's fair. I think it's a fair criticism to say that. And I know a lot of people get upset and testy about it. Both sides, not saying both sides have wrongs and rights to them, but I don't like how the gaming media really handled this situation at all. They really fluffed up this game, and I don't think it was deserving of Game of the Year, in my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, who gives a shit? I don't care. It's not a big deal.
Neil got what he wanted, though. Because he wanted to create a game that would bring people talking about it.
Yes.
Instead of just creating a game that people would enjoy, he created a game that would get people talking about it. And when you create something that would get people talking, you have to understand that they may not be talking good stuff about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's getting it from both sides. People are stroking that ego, and people are bringing him down. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
that's why it was Game of the Year for me, because we can sit here and you can talk about, you can enjoy a game. I'll forget about Miles Morales in the next, couple months. That game, that was a good spot. It's not as good as Spider-Man. That's all I'm going to think about, right?
Yeah.
The Last of Us 2 is going to come up on every fucking message board for the rest of our lives about how
I don't think so. I think it really died down a lot. I think a lot of people really forgot about it. I think it got...
Go on Twitter, man.
I think it got more... I think because of the Game of the Year stuff, I think it kind of exploded a little bit. Yeah.
Anytime he text something or tweet something.
Yeah. Well, Neil, with Neil, 100%.
152 messages. 152,000 messages about. Yeah. So,
but that's
like Lou said,
the problem.
It's a game you're going to talk about, and you're right. It didn't do right for most people. But yeah, he created a controversy, and that chaos is what rules the world.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah, I see where again he's coming from. Again, this is a symbolism of new Naughty Dog for me. They're going to be very more political. They're going to do a lot of stuff you probably don't like anymore, and they're
going to cast Mark Wahlberg as Sully. Like, what the fuck?
They're going to have a chance. Yeah, I know, right? It's so odd to me too. They're really potentially could lose that crown for a lot of fandoms of Sony's best studio. I think Insomniac, Santa Monica, even Sucker Punch have a chance at that throne now. I think whether they like it or not, Naughty Dog, I think they know they might have fudged some stuff up. I guarantee they did not expect a reaction like this of this game.
No,
yeah.
When you kill off a beloved character, you're gonna get pushback.
Well, Joel. I think us playing one, we knew Joel was gonna die, but the puppy dog and the puppy dog in what's it called, the Keanu Reeves movie, John Wick movie. Like that's kind of how you treated Joel. Was like he was just the puppy dog.
Well, yeah, and you can't treat a guy who was. You can't treat a guy who is the protagonist in the first one because I think you could have killed him the same way if you established the Abby character before. But that wasn't their social experiment they were trying to.
Yeah.
They were trying to see if you can we get you to like this character at the end.
Yes.
That's all it was.
You're right. Yes. That's what it was.
But why even do that experiment? Because this is what I'm talking.
It's something he's been into for a long time. It's something that's been in his brain for 20 years.
I know, and that's why I say.
I think he did a college thesis on it.
Yeah, this is why I say Neil knows how to create a good game. Mm-hmm. He knows what it takes to make a good game.
Yes.
But why would you want to take something that is as special? I mean, you just talked about Last of Us is always going to be mentioned on the boards forever. It's unfortunate, but when Last of Us is going to be brought up, it's going to be brought up for
the wrong reasons,
and a negative light as well, sure. Instead of it being 10 years ago when it was brought up in the positive light. When people would say, "Oh, this is some of the good games like Uncharted, Last of Us, all that type of stuff." Mm-hmm. Now people are going to say some of the bad games like Last of Us and one of the Devil May Cry ones. I think that was 2
DMC.
or 3.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I forgot which one it was, but that's the one that we're not supposed to talk about. But,
no, that's 2. You don't talk about 2. DMC had its controversy, though.
But I'm just saying, though, is that, I know that because of the negative light that was brought into.
Yeah.
Why would you, if you establish something that is just so beloved, and I'm not saying, create something that's, just generic or something, create a good story with Joel and Ellie. That's what we wanted was another one.
Yeah, because to me,
Ellie
was a bad character in this game, and the most interesting part to me was her and Joel fighting, not forgiving each other, or her not forgiving Joel for what he did. I thought that was the most interesting part, and to me, it's funny that all the flashbacks are the most enjoyable part of the game.
They're the best. They are the best.
They're the best part, where the new shit is not. They try to do it with Lev and Abby, and it's not awful. There's some great set pieces, beautiful fire, horseback riding.
Well, that's when Lou talks about generics. So this became a Last of Us 2 podcast. When
we're gonna have to nip this too and start moving on.
Yeah,
all right,
we've been talking for like 20 minutes.
They did, for as much as I love this game, and I do think it was the game of the year. It is copy and pasted from the first one with characters you don't care about. Mm-hmm. The Abby and Lev and what's her what's the other little girl's name?
The sister.
Yeah. Fuck, I can't remember. But they tried to do a Joel and Ellie
Game of the
story
Year.
with that.
Game of the Year. You don't remember any characters. I'm joking. I'm just fucking.
Dude, I haven't played that game in a while. It hasn't been on my mind in a while.
You drank all those problems away.
All outside of the golf club, it hasn't been on my mind. It's the only joke I got. But
I will. Go ahead.
Well, it's just.
All right, well, let's wrap it up because I want to talk about what they're going to do next. We had a great combo here. Let's talk about forward. What are they doing next? Are they doing Last of Us Part 3? I guarantee there's going to be a new IP. But where are they going from here? You think they're going to do a Part 3, JJ? The Last of Us?
Eventually. I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon. What?
It wouldn't be anytime soon, no.
7-8 years?
Yep.
I mean, if I were to do it, it would be a prequel to before he found Ellie. It'd be the one leading to when he got Ellie, with him and his brother. First.
That was a great point you made up. It would have been cool if Tommy and Ellie were the partners in that game in Part 2.
Yeah.
Because Tommy goes off. Would it be cool if you guys were hanging out a little bit more?
Yeah, I think kind of what happened between him and Tommy to lead Tommy to go to his own, and Joel left him, and that's kind of where I would go. That's not what Neil's going to do, but that's if I were to do 3.
I also think that shows a lot of ill faith in your decision of Last of Us Part 2.
Well, what it does is it made your choices in last for me to think that would bring people back.
Yeah, like we got to bring people back. You're never going to get people back. People are gone forever.
But I mean, are they going to make another Uncharted with Nathan's daughter? And I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, it's not going to be them. That's probably Sony Santa Monica, Sony San Diego, which we'll get to pretty soon. But Lou, do you think they're going to do a Part 3?
I think at this point you kind of have to see Neil's vision out. And I mentioned that before. As much as I wouldn't like the idea because I don't relate to get Abby as a character, but I think that you're gonna have to see his vision out. The game won a lot of Game of the Year awards. I mean, that's pretty much gonna be the presented thing on the table. Yeah. Is that even though the public might not like it,
you compare that to big wig executives. You see a Game of the Year, then you see you made only, $4 million. Or sold 4 million copies, and that's basically it. You didn't make enough money back.
Yeah, but
what does Levi always say about Sony? What is the one thing you always say Sony does? They let their studio the money means nothing. They let their studios see out their vision.
And true.
And Lou's right. You kind of have to ride this out.
I don't think you do. I don't think they're going to do a Part 3. They might. If they do, we ain't going to see it anytime soon. JJ's right about that. It's going to be a long time.
They shouldn't have made a Part 2.
There's so much to do. And I'm not advocating. I would kind of want it to be done at 2. But there's so much that you could do to further Abby's story in 3.
Yeah.
The game literally ends with the boat. After all the cutscenes and everything, and it means that she arrived.
To be fair, Neil Druckmann said on a pod that the game Last of Us Part 2 was going to be very different. Originally, you were going to start out as Abby, hang out with Joel and Ellie, because there was going to be hub worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackson was going to be one of the hub worlds, and you're going to hang out with Joel and Ellie. Then you find out that's Joel. Then you make the ultimate choice to kill him. That is such a much better story than what you fucking just did, which is the interesting part. But I don't think they're going to do a Part 3. They might. I could be wrong. I don't think so. I think...
What you doing?
They're definitely making a new IP. What's up, Maxie? They're definitely going to make a new IP. I think that's definitely on the table. They're definitely going to make a new IP. I think that's definitely going to happen, obviously. What that's going to be, I don't know. It'll probably be kind of similar to what we've seen from them already. I'm interested to see how they evolve. Because if you think of this game as an evolution of Naughty Dog, you might have some bad thoughts about it. So I want to see them evolve more. I want to see if they learn from this.
I'm gonna give Naughty Dog like a 1 or 2 more chances.
Yeah.
Because despite Last of Us Part 2, they've been a great studio, and I'm just not gonna jump off. Man. Yeah, I'm not gonna jump off the ship because of one bad game. As much as I'm not a big fan of Neil Druckmann.
Yeah.
But when Neil's past ideas with Elena and wanting to kill Joel in game 1, I am very worried about what his vision is going forward.
That's why I said this is like new Naughty Dog. He's in full control now. He's steering the ship now. He doesn't have Bruce, Amy, or anybody to talk to anymore. It's him running the ship. Let's really quick, because this is the whole point. I wanted to pick his brain on Uncharted 3. What did you not like in Uncharted 3? Really quick.
I thought it was a boring story. I hated it. It's okay. To me, it's the worst Naughty Dog game I've ever played. It was just It's one of those games where it took me. I trudged through it. It felt like a chore to be, and that's why it just didn't.
I know you said you were struggling, and I was guessing it was the beginning with Cutter and.
It was the whole thing. I just couldn't. It took me the longest to beat because I got another thing.
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed that one. I like Cutter. I like Chloe. I like the plane sequence where you get on the plane and you're falling off. That was really fun.
Well, no, there's good. It's a Naughty Dog game. There's always going to be good moments and good looking.
Yeah, to mask the actual gameplay for sure. Yeah, I understand.
Like you guys bash the gameplay, but it's good. Like it's good.
It is, but compared to like other stuff, I mean, they just added prone in Last of Us Part 2. We had prone since like '97.
No.
We've had prone since '97.
I just didn't I didn't enjoy that part of the story.
Yeah. But let's talk about Sony, Ben. They are known for a Siphon Filter, Uncharted Golden Abyss for Vita. I wish that one got a remaster. And Days Gone. I think most of us know what's going to happen here. I think it's already been greenlit, even though with
Bubsy 3D.
What happened?
Bubsy 3D.
Sony Ben did Bubsy 3D? I don't think so.
Yeah, they did. That was their first game in 1996.
Oh my god. Again, I think I put the most popular ones on here. But,
Bubsy, come on.
But yeah, I remember Bubsy. It's funny as shit.
They also did Resistance Retribution.
Yes, for Vita as well. But I think we know where they're going to go here. What do you think, JJ?
They're going to probably do a continuation of Days Gone.
Yes, that's what I think too. Any chance Siphon Filter back? Anybody want Siphon Filter where you can taser somebody across the roof and they burn? That was my favorite thing in Siphon Filter 1.
I remember playing 1. My buddy owned a video store and we'd get games all the time.
I felt like we were Spider-Man because you could just be a gunman in the roof and you just taser the taser just go all the way and just burn them to death and they fall. Yeah. My friends and I used to laugh about that in our teenage years all the time. It was so funny. I would love to see Siphon Filter. I'm with JJ. Days Gone. JJ and I really liked that game. We knew that game wasn't going to get nominated for Game of the Year in 2019. It actually won some game awards overseas. It was hugely popular overseas. It was more popular than God of War and Spider-Man, which was like, wow, really? Days Gone. I heard it runs incredibly well on PS5. I heard it looks beautiful on PS5. Days Gone, I would like to see Deacon St. John get another shot of glory. Do you think it's going to be a continuation of St. John, or is it going to be a different camp, JJ? There he is.
I think it's going to be a continuation.
Is that what you want, though? You want more of Deacon?
Hold on, Levi.
JJ's looking at that Pornhub account.
No. Becky's calling.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, hold on. I'll be right back. You can talk to Lou.
All right. Lou, I know you haven't played Days Gone yet. Any chance you see Siphon Filter, new IP? What do you want from Sony Ben?
I think we're going to get Days Gone too. The thing with that universe, I mean, I've only did like the first couple of, missions, and I put it down. I forgot what I was doing. I was doing something else at the time, but I bought that game. I pre-ordered that game and got it day one. I think if the universe is as it's explained, you could do other camps, like basically their
Yes.
own Walking Dead.
Yes, you can. Yeah,
So
essentially, yeah.
yeah, because Walking Dead has Fear, Walking Dead has World Beyond, and they're all in the same universe, and even the Telltale games, if I remember correctly, are in the same universe.
Something like that. It
From what
seems like because
Kirkman,
they have a lot of characters crossing over.
right. So, as I was saying, I think that's where we're going. I think Ben is going to focus on Days Gone too. I don't know if they're going to do anything else though.
Yeah, I think they're a big studio, but they do one project at a time. I know Days Gone had its rough patches, man. Game did not run incredibly well. There was quite a few times on stream. You guys have watched me fall through like Ripper camps and stuff through the map. Some parts of the map wouldn't load. It was like Red Dead Redemption 2, but not as polished. Like it wasn't polished. They definitely had some trouble with that game. That game kept getting pushed back for the wrong reason, not for the right reason. They just didn't know how to fix it. I heard the game runs incredibly well on PS5. Want to see Deacon St. John get a second chance, and I think with the PS5 hardware, how much better, how much more powerful it is. I think if they borrow the Decima engine from Guerrilla Games, the Horizon team, which Kojima used for Death Stranding, he said it was the best engine they had. Because as much criticism I give Japanese studios for using proprietary engines and stuff instead of using Unreal, Sony does it all the time, and they do an amazing job with their proprietary engines, their own engines they built from ground up. But they had a real struggle with Days Gone. There was a lot of glitches and hitches. There was some trouble with that game for sure. But it was really good. The story was really fun. Sarah and Deacon St. John was a really masterful story. Let's go into Sony San Diego. Oh, okay, JJ got back right at the right time.
Let's do it.
All right, go ahead with Days Gone a little bit.
I think I want to see a continuation. I like Deacon St. John as a character, but I want to kill me.
Yeah. I think there's so much more potential. Lou was thinking they could do other camps for sure. I talked about how much the game struggled to run on PS4. I heard it runs masterfully on PS5. I think they're going to get a second chance because that game did sell really well. Not incredibly well here, but overseas, like I said, it was more popular than Spider-Man and God of War, which is kind of crazy to me to think that, But I like Days Gone a lot. I like Deacon St. John. The story of him and Sarah were awesome. I think it had some lows. I think that third act is a little rough. It's a little slow. But I like Ricky. I like Boozer. I like some of his, his crew there. It's potential. There's a lot of good potential in it. Like a lot of really good potential. Of course, I would love to see Siphon Filter come back, but I don't know. I think they're going to do Days Gone 2. I'm pretty sure it's already greenlit already. Let's talk about Sony San Diego and probably the most interesting thing they're probably going to do. We did get some show news, or show news is coming, but of course, MLB The Show, Mod Nation Racers, Little Big Planet Karting. Where is Sony San Diego going to go, Lou?
I think Sony San Diego right now is focusing on MLB The Show. Mm-hmm. That's going to be multi-platform, thanks to the MLB.
I think this is the last year it's exclusively for PlayStation, I think.
Yes, but I'm sure that they have plans on...
Oh, yeah, the other hardware, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, bigger and better, and, maybe you do cross-platforming. There's a lot of ideas that you can put out there. But, yeah, I think they're just focused on MLB The Show right now. And... let's see what happens with the MLB season. So,
okay. What about you, JJ? I saw you nod. You already know where you're. I think I know.
Well,
where you're
going. MLB The Show. I was thinking of an interesting stop today. I don't know if it would be Sony San Diego or any, but because we're talking about a sports game, I'd like for some AAA studio, not named EA, swoop in and buy the rights to college football team and make it a college football game.
Yeah.
And I would.
Wasn't EA in talks of getting it back, though?
They have, but I think Sony San Diego is a really good company that I think, given a chance, could make a decent football game.
Okay.
I think you guys are right about the show, but we know too much information now. This has definitely happened. We just don't know what the fuck the game is.
Little Big Planet 3 karting racing 2?
No, but we know that a lot of Naughty Dog staff left to work there. Same thing with Red Dead Redemption 2. They're working on an open world action-adventure game. It is heavily hinted that it's Uncharted. But we don't know what it is. Is it Uncharted 5 or is it a Lost Legacy 2? But we know for a fact that it's a open world adventure game, third-person adventure game that Sony San Diego, they got greenlit, their studio expanded. They are not just making baseball games anymore. That other half of the studio is making the baseball game. But the other half is working with Naughty Dog and former Red Dead Redemption employees, and it's heavily rumored it's an Uncharted game. What do you guys think about that? Where do you want Uncharted to go if it is Uncharted?
I did hear the Uncharted thing.
We talked about it a lot on the pod before.
Probably Indiana Jones, and they got pissed off that Bethesda came out before them.
That'd be funny.
God damn it!
Technically, Uncharted is in Indiana Jones in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's what I read somewhere. I forgot I posted it, but they said Xbox got their Uncharted. Go ahead, Lou.
No, go ahead. My bad. I was reading and wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I don't know what I guess Lost Legacy proved they could do it without Nathan Drake. So,
well, is Nathan going to be Sully now, and then his daughter takes over?
And
then he gets magically hit with a golf club?
I think every Naughty Dog game should end a character like that, though.
They need to embrace that shit.
Just have it, just as a joke. Like, they should have threw that shit in Astrobot. Instead of Joel and Ellie being scared of a zombie, they should have had...
Yeah, Clicker,
they should have Abby bashing Joel's brains in. That'd been hilarious.
Actually, is that Sony Japan? I don't think so.
I saw what studio did. It is Sony Japan, but it's an offshoot of it. It's like Ambo or something, but it is Sony Japan. I did see that. But I don't know where I want Uncharted to go. 4 is probably...
the perfect send-off for a character, for sure.
Yeah, 4 and 2 are good. It's like with anything. They just make too much money not to...
do it, yeah. People want more of it.
Like, even... they're going to make another Last of Us because Last of Us 2 is the third highest-selling Sony exclusive of all time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they just like money, man. Money rules the world. It sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
But as long as they do it right and maybe don't use Nathan Drake, maybe... you know what doesn't hurt? Is new IPs. New IPs don't hurt. Ghost of Tsushima was a new IP.
It could be a new IP. I mean, it could be, but it's just... it's just so many things are adding up to a Uncharted game.
Uncharted... the name Uncharted will sell copies. That is true.
Well, the thing is, I thought about this for many, many years because this is what I wanted originally Lost Legacy to be. Don't get me wrong, because I love Chloe. Chloe and Nadine's story was very good in Lost Legacy. It's not as good as the Nathan Drake stuff, but it was good. It was very solid. It was very much like Miles Morales. Very good, very solid, just not as good as the OG. In a lot of ways, and don't take that the wrong way, audience. God damn it. But what about Sam and Sully? Because the ending of Uncharted 4 I loved so much with Sam looking like a lost puppy and Sully's like, hey kid, you want to roll with me? So why don't they go on an awesome freaking adventure? Why don't that be Uncharted 5? Leave Nathan Drake, let him have his family, but Sam is a worthy enough character to carry that mantle. And you still have Sully, you still can have some flashbacks with Nathan. Maybe he calls Nathan, mentions Nathan. All
right, so we take that story. I like it. We're storyboarding right now. We take it. And at the end of Last of Us 2 when Abby's boat was at somewhere, it's on the island where Nathan Drake was and bashes his head in because you find out he killed his mother in one of his adventures. She was on that train that fell in Uncharted.
Yeah. Because Uncharted, I'm about to dive back into it to platinum it. Uncharted 4 is absolutely
Man, we're just gonna
amazing
have
game.
Abby kill all the great.
You got to.
characters.
Sackboy.
Kill
Come
Sackboy,
on,
kill
motherfucker.
Ratchet,
Yeah.
kill
Watch
Snake,
out, Sackboy.
kill Cloud.
Spider-Man.
What about you, Lou? What do you think of that idea? Like, do you want that game to be a new IP, or are you done with Uncharted?
I mean, I thought the reason that Uncharted was so unique because it was Nathan's story. I like the idea of Nathan kind of being the Sully role and his daughter, or maybe they have a son. I don't know what they do. Maybe they'll have multiple kids.
Yeah.
And kind of guiding them through. I guess you would say the land of abyss explore, but I don't know. I don't know if I really like. I did before, but I don't know if I like the idea today of doing another Uncharted game.
Yeah.
Get back to me in about a month or so, but today, I don't think so. I don't think I don't because I feel like that Nathan's story was a good send off.
Yeah, it was
and I think
beautiful ending.
Yeah, and I don't want it to be like, oh man, it should have ended after Nathan's story. That's not what I want that to be. That's not what I want Uncharted to be. I feel like that you should just end it Uncharted from Nathan's story today, and
So you want new IP? You're leaning towards new IP, okay?
I'm leaning more towards new IP, but you can continue Chloe's story and maybe Sam, but if you're not going to do anything with it,
I talked to
the movie's going to already ruin Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Mello talked to Troy Baker about this at MegaCon, and he asked him about Sam and Sully actually, and Troy said he wants that to happen so bad, obviously, because more time for him in a solo role, but Troy, I met him a couple times, a really cool guy, really cool, and he handled part 2 with a lot of grace. He helped promote that game to the fullest, even though he did not like personally being killed off in that game. You can watch the Kind of Funny pod where him on it. He openly admits he had a 2-hour fight with fucking Neil about getting killed off in that game. But let's talk Sony Santa Monica. JJ's mythical, magical golf club to Kratos' dome. God of War, obviously.
Gotta be Atreus. Fuck it, don't do it.
Twisted Metal, Pixel Junk, and Fat Princess. Sony Santa Monica did all of those. I would love a Twisted Metal game to come back. I don't think that's fucking happening, though. Obviously, they're working on God of War Ragnarok, but is there another IP they're going to sneak in? And where is Ragnarok going? We're going to discuss this a little bit, like we did Last of Us. Go ahead, JJ, since it's your favorite game of all time. Where is Sony Santa Monica going with Ragnarok? Are they doing another IP?
Bringing back Fat Princess, buddy. Fat Princess.
PS5 edition.
Yeah. No, I don't know if they'll make it, but I'd like for that PlayStation Battle Royale game to come back.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool. That would be really
cool.
Be fun. I forgot who made that first one.
They got enough people now to really make it awesome.
They got so many people.
Yeah.
Golf clubs and Abby. And
yeah. Jin. They got Aloy. They got Spider-Man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot they could do. But it's going to be...
Because that studio is big. Sony Santa Monica is huge.
I'm guessing you're fighting, the main antagonist is probably going to be Thor.
Yeah. No Odin yet? Are we going to see Odin in this game?
You will see Odin. I mean, if you're just going off the first I've been playing the first trilogy a little bit, and
yeah,
everything kind of led to getting to Zeus. Everything was to get to Zeus. Like, you do fight him in the second one, but everything was to finally just, this is the guy to... Now, he doesn't know Odin yet, so... Like, old Kratos just wants to be left alone. People just keep fucking showing up. Like, God, guys, I've already done this
I just
shit.
want to raise my kid. Jeez.
He's He's Danny Glover in fucking Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Too old for this shit.
What about that mural, though, at the end?
I don't know how I feel about it. Foreshadowing that.
Damn it, we're going to make you cry on this podcast.
Atreus is Loki.
Freya, magical golf club. Right to the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where I want him to go, but I'm excited. I'm just super excited. There's no way it comes out February.
No, fuck no. Hell no. That game's later this year. If it even all comes out this year.
It's going to be February 2022. They misspoke.
I got a question for JJ real quick. How would you feel if they killed off Kratos?
Probably the same way you felt about them killing off. It has to be for a reason, right? And if you're not satisfied with the reason, it's going to piss me the fuck off.
Because they've been
sounding like a hypocritizer there, JJ.
It's not hypocrite.
No,
I'm just saying though, like they've been foreshadowing Kratos' death.
Well,
they did.
Before he before the end when they buried the ashes.
Yes.
And he's like, "Come on, Dad, let's go." And
they didn't bury that; they let the ashes go. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, whatever. The mural shows of Kratos down and Atreus holding his head. Basically foreshadowing a death.
Let me ask you a question. You've played all the God of Wars, right?
Yeah.
So
Lou wants Kratos to die. I want to point this out.
So if Kratos dies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does he just say, "I'm just gonna die now"? Because he's died so many times.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was telling Lou.
He's already died like 4 times.
This is the thing that I was thinking about.
He comes back. Does he just say, "Fuck it, I'm not coming back"? Because I'd be okay with that.
But this is the thing I was thinking about, though.
Yeah.
Is who showed up in the game? His past, when he went to hell.
Yeah. Helheim.
So maybe he finally settles his past demons.
That's the thing, is
still
he's not
bothering him.
Unless something happens to Atreus, he's not fueled by revenge anymore. So revenge is what kept him going.
Yes.
That's why he would escape hell, because I got to kill all these fuckers because they keep fucking me. So if he accepts death and he's like, as long as if Atreus is killed by Odin, then he's coming back from hell or whatever the hell.
JJ, how do you feel about Atreus being potentially the new main character? I mean, they would have to jump a lot of time. He would have to grow up a lot.
In that world, though, I mean, you could, like I said, God of War, like Kratos could come back anytime he wants. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you can make that work anytime.
Yeah,
you could have him die and then come back like in game 3. You know what I mean? And against
or game 1, or game 2.
How I feel about the ending of God of War 4 or 2008 Game of the Year. Game of the Year. I'm gonna say it again. Game of the Year. God of War.
Game of the generation.
Game of the Year. God of War.
Game of the generation.
2018.
Game of the generation.
God of War. Game of the Year. Okay, I'll stop now. God of War, how that one ended, it literally is going to Ragnarok. I mean, winter is coming. Like, literally, it's going to be I feel like God of War Ragnarok literally is going to start literally right when that happens. Like, right where they leave off and go back home, that's where it's going to start again, in the house. I could be wrong. Maybe they do a time jump, few years, but Ragnarok's supposed to be the end-all, be-all. Everything's supposed to die and stuff. There's been a lot of interesting theories that Kratos is the world serpent because it kind of looks like him. He has a beard. He's kind of white looking. He can look green at certain points, Lou pointed out. Like, it's just an interesting theory because technically the world serpent is Loki's kid, so is Fenrir the wolf, and blah, blah, blah. Is Atreus going to become Loki? Is he going to betray his father? Is he going to be mischievous? I don't know. I think it's going to be another father-son story. And I don't think Kratos is leaving us anytime soon. I mean, there's too much there right now to keep. You're riding on a big high right now. To get rid of him now and then bring him back to the third game, I think sets a bad taste for a lot of people. It just depends on how you do it. But go ahead, Lou.
But why does it set a bad taste? I'm just saying though, because that world, anything can happen. It's not like it's not like The Last of Us. Once Joel's dead, he's dead.
Yeah, it's not grounded in any.
Yeah,
like I just played all of them. I just played the first
bad
3
taste
again.
would be is if they got rid of them right from the get-go, and then you don't play as them in the third game. I think that's bad taste. I think people want to play as Kratos right now. He's hot. He's more than hot than ever right now. He is on fire. People want to be the God of War. They don't want to be Atreus. In my personal opinion,
though. You don't like the game starts. You don't kill Kratos, you know what I mean, like Joel.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
But I'm just saying, if they did that,
you go through.
If they did that, and then they bring him back for the third game, I think that sets a bad taste, though.
I think it's something that they can get away with.
Yeah, you're right. They probably could, but
have Atreus go to hell, bring him back because he's gonna need him. You know, it is something that you could really get away with.
Because Atreus is like 10, right, or 11 or 12.
Well, I think you do. If you were to do the Kratos dying,
no way he could go save his dad.
Semi-early, you'd kind of do the.
Well, it'd be years later, Levi. It wouldn't be tomorrow.
It'd be, you do the
but that's what I'm saying.
Story.
I think where Ragnarok is, it's starting. He's still going to be the same.
The game is going to start, I think, from the end. The snow already started falling, which signals the
Ragnarok. So the end. Yeah.
What it shows to me is Kratos is meant to be there. He's the catalyst for Ragnarok to start.
Yes.
Kratos was the catalyst. So, what I think you could take both of your ideas and kind of. So you have an A and B story like a TV show does. Mm-hmm. So Kratos could die, and you could play for him as a little bit trying to work his way back to Atreus, where Atreus is trying to work his way back.
Yeah, they're kind of like me in the middle.
Yeah,
cue the song, cue the beat, get the beat going.
Yeah, and they kind of meet in the middle and shit. But yeah, you just gotta.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, you want to be optimistic about what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I just don't think they're doing. I just don't think that's the logical decision.
You also know that the head of a lot of Sony game studios are woke now, so you could see other shit. I mean, they could do a bunch of stuff, and they could piss a lot of people off.
I hope they don't go that route, but I mean, it's possible. I was talking to Lou about that for sure. Yeah,
I was just thinking that it's because we see a lot of foreshadows in games.
Yeah,
they're foreshadowing his death. And
100%.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. Why can't we accept that idea? I don't care if he dies or he lives or whatever. You know, that in that world.
Why is it?
Why can't we accept that? Why can't we accept that that's a possibility and go forward as a trend?
It is a possibility.
I think it is, but I just think it's too soon. Is all I'm thinking. I just don't think. Think they're doing it right away. I just think you won Game of the Year.
Would it be too soon? Would it be too soon at the end of 2?
People want to play as Kratos more than ever. Most people never played any other God of War game, but they played this one and they love that game. 2018. I just don't. And then you're going to do a sequel to that. I think people have expectations, Lou, and I don't think you. I think years down the road for sure, like if Atreus is older and like do the thing JJ just said, maybe meet him in the middle or something, or Kratos moves on and accepts that. It's not a big. It's not a big deal at the end of the day. I just don't think they're doing that for the next game. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, did we learn anything from Neil though? Because if we had all these expectations for 2, and he just threw them out the window. I mean, you could do that. I mean, that is a possibility.
I did say that to you before, and you were a little scared about that. But I don't think
you do want to subvert.
I don't think every Sony studio is gonna just do that. They're just gonna be like, oh, hey. No. Subverting expectations. I don't think they're going to make every game The Last Jedi.
It depends.
I just don't think that's going to happen. But it might. You never know. It could happen.
You could do it and then fix it and be part of the storyline. You can't do it in Last of Us world. And that's what I'm saying. Is like you can. No,
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying if you wait till the third game to do that, though, I just think it leaves a bad taste for people. Because I don't think people want to be Atreus. No offense to him, but. I don't think anybody wants to be a 10-year-old.
He died in 2 in the last one, right? I mean, in the last mythology.
Which one?
So what? In 2, right? He died against Zeus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't you remember that battle?
He comes back, but he comes back like you work your way through hell, like JJ said. Like if you're gonna just give the keys to Atreus and just let Kratos die and come back to the third game, I don't think it works that way, but. But what you're saying is that's not going to happen. You're saying he's going to die and then come back the same game. I think that's what you're trying to say.
No, you just totally took what I said and made it your own thing.
Yeah.
I said it's a possibility because at first you said that he's going to die in the beginning. what I think is going to happen is we're going to experience their journey. I think
Okay.
Kratos is going to suffer the defeat of Thor. I think
Oh, okay.
I think Atreus. You know, at this time, I think there's gonna be some time lapse, and Kratos is a smart dude. He's gonna build, knowing what he saw at that mural. I think he's gonna build Atreus to be to get in shape to battle these gods. To
Well,
know
he
that this
already
is
is
not
a god
over.
anyway, so he has super strength and stuff already. But
But I'm just saying though is that I think that
And
that's what he's gonna do is that
he's
he's
a
gonna prepare
trickster.
Atreus for his potential downfall, and I think that he beats Thor, and you go on, and then maybe in three you go back and you get Kratos. I mean, they're foreshadowing a lot of things.
Lou's not far off.
yeah. But
So
the thing
the
is, you can
story.
foreshadow anything you want, but you don't have to do it. The
Well,
MCU foreshadowed
if we
Hawkeye
follow, if we
dying a
follow the
bajillion times, and he never did.
follow the through
But
line though on the first game. So Cory Barlog had a kid, and it's about the
Yes,
father-son
that was a
relationship.
love letter to his son. Yeah.
So, so the second game is what every parent tries to do: is you try to raise your kids so when you're gone, they can take care of themselves. So I see what Lou's
yes,
kind of doing here.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is so maybe he's doing it in a different way where hey he has to kill Kratos, but the through line of the story is probably going to be letting your kids go and trying to raise them to be their own people and all that. So I 100% could see that happening. But
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with Lou. I think it'd be at the end of the game where the last scene you see is Atreus holding Kratos like he does in the mural.
Yeah. That.
and you could honestly bring him back.
In the third game, he
go
wouldn't.
on a
Yeah.
go on one last journey, against Odin, and then he turns into some world serpent or something. I don't know however they want to foreshadow that.
It's a
I don't
time
know
loop.
how
It's
they
weird.
wanna do
Time
that.
is.
Well, yeah, because the world serpent is like time itself or something. Like he goes.
It wraps around the world.
Yeah, like Norse mythology. This is why this is so interesting because we don't know much about it. We know the Marvel mythology of Thor and Loki and Odin and shit like that. They're all goody goodies. But in this game, they're all big pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Thor is a
This is going to be a
drunkard.
very controversial statement. I'm sorry for anyone who is very, very religious. But what I've learned from Norse mythology, Greek mythology, the other couple of mythologies I've studied, God, anybody who has that much power is a cock. They're all dickhead. They're
Yes.
all. It's just how mythologies work, and they use it to explain why shit happened.
Yes,
So-
it's used as a lesson a lot. Yeah.
There's no way my wife cheated on me. Fucking, of course, Thor came down and had sex with her. She wouldn't do that to me with John from down the street.
What about Twisted Metal? Any chance?
I follow David Jaffe on Twitter, and he hasn't heard any. There's no rumblings of it.
Well, he doesn't work there. I mean, this is Sony Santa Monica.
I know, but I think if they were to make
To
his
do it, it'd
baby,
be him, yeah, because he is technically.
no, he wouldn't remake it, but he would know something about it.
Oh, yeah, true.
No, he's not part of. Yeah, he wouldn't be a part of it. I don't think.
I would like it.
But
Definitely
I mean,
would like it.
even if you just like, it's not a game you even have to remaster. I don't design video games, but I don't think it's Destruction All Stars is probably going to be a pretty fun game. But if they made that Twisted Metal instead of Destruction All Stars, I think it'd be a lot better.
Probably the name recognition alone. Let's talk about Sucker Punch. Sly Cooper, Infamous, and Ghost of Tsushima is all they made. And or of what I wrote, this is the most popular titles they made.
Whoa, those are like heavy hitters, dog.
Those are I think that's what I wrote. It's just like the popular one. You gotta remember, I wrote this 5 months ago. Like, I wrote this a long
They've
time
made
ago.
so many games since then.
Yeah. But these are probably their biggest ones they did.
Oh,
Sly
100%.
Cooper, Infamous, Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima was a massive hit last year. It won a couple of Game of the Year awards, right? I think it won Player's Vote, Player's Choice or something, and then they won, was it Audio or something? It won another one at the Game Awards, but this game was very much beloved by the fans. It was not beloved by the game's media, though, because of Last of Us Part 2, but we'll tiptoe around that. We'll throw that out there. Sly Cooper is an awesome franchise. I would love to see that get a remake treatment, just like Crash Bandicoot. And then Infamous, I think it's gone. I think Second Son was an awesome game, a great starting game. But I think they moved past that. Ghost of Tsushima, clearly, in my case, is what they're working on next, in my personal opinion. Lou and I picked the wrong ending, apparently. We picked where we murdered our uncle, which was awesome. Which was super cool. Take that, because I'm Batman. Such a great game.
You gotta buy it all the way in, right?
It was a really great game. Fantastic experience. I think they're doing Ghost of Tsushima 2. How do you guys feel?
I don't know if they're doing it right away.
I'm sure it'll take a little bit. But we're not going to see it anytime soon.
Sly Cooper could be an interesting bringing that back. Like you said, Infamous is probably done, but bringing that back, that was a Second Son was a lot of fun. The first couple, kind of making your own superhero game is really cool, and doing it on your terms. And
we thought they were making the Spider-Man game. Yeah. But ended up being Insomniac.
They do good work.
What about them doing X-Men? What if Marvel picks up the phone and be like, yo, X-Men?
I want to hate that.
Except you kill Gambit off right in the beginning.
He's my favorite.
I think Sly
Cooper
is something that's happening soon.
What happened?
Because I think Sly is something that's happening soon. I don't know exactly what.
Do you think it's by Sucker Punch, though, or another off-brand studio?
I don't know. That's a good question, but I do think that there is a demand for it. I mean, it's one of those things that people have talked about, and that's kind of picked up steam during E3.
It did, yeah. There was a lot of rumors about 5 coming back, finally. Because Sly 4 Thieves in Time, all the way back in 2013, maybe?
Who made that game?
Sanzuru. They did the remakes, too. They did the HD remasters as well. Fantastic series of games. But I like Thieves of Time, too. It's not as good as 1, 2, and 3. Like, 3 was probably, like, the peak. But 4 left off with 5. Like, they were going to do a 5. And it'll be really interesting if they do bring that back. I think it's clear as day it's Ghost. Ghost is their moneymaker right now. I don't think we see any... The thing Sony's so smart at is most of their studios are big enough to do 2 games.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that new game's an IP. A new IP, I'm sorry, or Ghost of Tsushima. I think Ghost of Tsushima 2 seems like it's the likely candidate.
I think Ghost of Tsushima 2 is probably like 3 years away.
Yeah, for sure. We're not going to hear anything from them for a while.
Yeah, but they have to have something that comes out soon.
You think? You think they have to?
Well, I think that they're working on something that could come out, that has to come out soon.
Okay.
I mean, like, do you really think they're gonna go 3 years without producing anything?
Yeah. If they have to,
2,
yeah.
1, 4, 2, 3. They're about on a 3-year cycle.
Because Second Son was what, 2014? Like early 2014?
99. They made a game in 99, 2002, 2004, 2005, 2009. They made 2 in 2011, but it was like a continue. It was Infamous 2 and Infamous Festival of Blood.
Yeah, which is the expansion.
Yeah. And then 2014, 3 years later, they made Second Son with First Light, which is a expansion. And then 6 years. It took them 6 years to make Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
So, they don't seem to be on, like, hey... But when they do a series, it does come out every 2 to 3 years.
Okay. I think they can do Ghost 2 in 3 years. You already have the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think that they... I think they're working on something. Okay. That's what I personally think that, because that is... With today's day and age and how video games are such a high demand, I don't know if you can... it's a good idea to do 3 or 4 year waits in between your next game.
Yeah, it's just,
5 year waits.
I know what you're talking about, but it's just hard, man, because video games cost so much more money now than they used to, and take a lot more development time to make.
Yeah, but the demand is
higher
now for.
Yeah, you want to go over there, Lou? We could have a GG and friends over there. That'd be cool.
Sucker Punch just listed jobs
And they offer me a
yesterday.
job there. I'm going over there.
It's Seattle, man. You would love to see there, right? You
Listed
love
jobs.
Russell
They
Wilson.
have
You
jobs.
drafted him in fantasy,
You
right?
can work. You can work for Naughty Dog. I saw Naughty Dog posted some jobs yesterday too.
No.
You could mocap Abby.
Oh, you could be the guy who writes Abby out. You could be the guy that writes Last of Us 3.
If there's
all a fever dream.
All-Stars, you know the first person I'm gonna go after.
It's fever dream. It's a fever dream. So what happened was Joel was riding his horse and he fell off and hit his head, and none of that actually happened. It was all just
and no clicker killed him.
Could you imagine?
He was just there the whole time. Yeah.
He was just like.
All right, let's talk about the last American studio, Pixel Opus, which this is gonna be hard because I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. They did Entwined in Concrete Genie, so they're very much a newer studio. I'm gonna lean towards new IP because that was the trend. There's no Entwined 2 or Concrete Genie 2, so I'm gonna go new IP. I don't know exactly what they're gonna do. Maybe. Do you think they get any? Did Concrete Genie do well enough for them to get a shot to do like a AAA IP?
Concrete Genie.
I'm just gonna say I don't know and then shrug and then move it on to JJ because I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Concrete Genie. I don't know how much money it made. It scored a 75 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Mm-hmm.
So I
don't think Sony would probably take a chance of them doing a AAA IP right now. I'd say new IP. I'd say new IP, similar scale to Concrete Genie. But we could be surprised. Maybe they do. Maybe they get something new. Maybe they're doing the Sly Cooper game, right? Let's go to Europe. Let's go abroad. Guerrilla Games. So Guerrilla, their two biggest franchise, obviously, Killzone or Horizon Zero Dawn. We already know they're doing Forbidden Forest. We could talk about where that's gonna go. But is there another IP? Well, actually, we do. We know there's another IP they're working on. But is it Killzone related? We know it's the Rainbow Six guys were brought in. Some of the head of Rainbow Six were brought in. Is it another Killzone, or are they making a new IP first-person shooter? What do you guys think?
SOCOM would be so nice, wouldn't it?
That's third person though, but that'd be cool.
Yeah, I know.
It'd be cool if it came back.
It's when I just heard that though, I just thought of SOCOM, but
You might be right. Maybe they do a third-person SOCOM game.
But I just don't know if they want to compete with Call of Duty and Battlefield.
If you go into that, I think you got to know you're not winning that battle.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
If you go into that, you got to know you just got to make a game for fans, and
you have to really make it story driven. And I don't want to say like a 50-hour game, but
yeah,
a really good story driven game with like multiplayer as the bonus.
Would you be upset if it was just like Rainbow Six though, where it's just pure multiplayer?
Probably.
Like pure multiplayer $40 game.
I wouldn't hate it. I'd probably have no feeling towards it.
Okay. What about you, JJ? What do you think? Are they doing another Killzone, or is SOCOM coming back? Are they bringing anything? Are they doing something new IP? I think we lost JJ. I'm leaning towards the side of new IP right now. I think they're leading.
Okay.
I think Horizon obviously is their moneymaker right now. We don't know the release date. I'm thinking that game we're going to know more about pretty soon. I'm thinking that's the summer game. I'm thinking is Horizon Zero. Not Zero, but Horizon Forbidden Forest. I think that's what it's called now. I think that's what they're going with for sure. I think that's what they're going to lean towards. I think the new IP would be a smart move because there's no pressure for it to be a Killzone or a SOCOM game. Do a new first-person shooter, maybe a battle royale game, maybe something similar to I would assume it'd be something very similar to Rainbow Six, a very tactical shooting game, which would be cool to see if that is SOCOM, right?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How would you feel
No more questions, Silencio.
How would you feel about Horizon 2?
Mm-hmm.
with a remaster of Horizon 1 packaged in Horizon 2 as a $100 version.
I wouldn't hate that at all, because I think you and me have talked about that, possibly, that they would do the Spider-Man thing for a lot of their games.
Yeah.
100 bones, though, that's not a big problem to me. I think for a lot of people, though, because I'm usually buying collector's editions anyway. I'm spending a lot on video games already. I know a lot of people for $70, that is a huge increase. It is. It's a lot more money.
My logic behind it is that 2 would be $69.99.
Yeah, it would be 70 and then $30 for the remaster.
Yeah, and then you just sell the remaster standalone 30. Because I'm thinking more of like, how do you get more games on the shelves?
Yeah.
You know, and these exclusives are coming, but when you go to Walmart, there's like 8, maybe 10 PS5 titles, and then everything's PS4. So how do you get more of those? How do you outweigh that or create a separate section for PS4 and PS5? And, you know, I'm thinking more and more over this year, we'll start seeing more of next-gen upgrades or, you know, something in that line. And I think that Horizon would definitely be, and you mentioned this before, it's a good idea to do. It's a very good idea.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't hate it. Like, to me, that wouldn't bother me at all. I think it'd be potentially a smart move, because that was one of the games left off on the Plus, right?
Yep.
Plus collection, I'm sorry. JJ had to step out, guys. It's going to be me and Lou wrapping this up. We only got a couple more studios to do. London. I don't know about this one either. London did SingStar, iToy, and The Getaway. You remember The Getaway?
Vaguely.
It was kind of like the London's version of Grand Theft Auto. It was pretty fun. I had a buddy let me borrow it and play it. It wasn't the greatest thing ever, but it was a fun little game. SingStar used to be really big. iToy was their camera series, which they still got going on. Not iToy specifically, but Sony has that HD VR camera, remember?
Yeah.
I don't really know where they're going to go. They haven't done much in many, many years, so I don't know. They're obviously still open, so I don't know if they just help out other studios, but I don't know where I'm going to go with this. You got any idea, Lou?
No, I have no idea. I was kind of hoping you did, and then I was just kind of like...
No, we don't have to know everything. You know, it's just interesting to see where everything goes.
Yeah, but you know, there's some things I need to be reminded of, because it's like,
you probably didn't even know there was a Sony London to begin with.
Nope, I didn't think that was even a thing.
All right, the last European studio, Media Molecule, did Little Big Planet, Tearaway, and Dreams. Dreams came out. It wasn't the biggest success for them. I know a lot of people really love the creativity engine in that game. Is there a possibility Dreams remaster for PS5 anytime soon, Lou?
Possibly.
That was the biggest project today, and took a long time. It took like 4 or 5 years, I think.
You said Little Big Planet, right? I think they've mentioned that they're going to go away from that for a while. Right?
Yeah, they're not doing Little Big Planet anymore. Somebody did Sackboy. Somebody else did Sackboy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Dreams remaster, potentially new IP they're leaning towards. But we don't see them for a while.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right.
So
the final part is, Lou and I have talked about this plenty of times, but potential pickups for Sony, for people joining Sony. I wrote a few down here, and I think this is, I have it at number 3, but I think it's their number 1 thing, and it's got to be Blue Point Games. They have to scoop up Blue Point Games. Demon Souls has proven to be a huge success. A lot of people bought it. Even never ever playing any Souls game before, never even bought the first Demon Souls. It was masterfully done. Lou and I are gonna dive into the depths of hell pretty soon. I already have for a little bit. I killed 1 or 2 bosses already. But I think this has got to be a pickup for them, man. Lou, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Sony's at the point, I mentioned this the last pod,
Yeah.
where they don't necessarily have to have
any more pickups.
They don't need to have. They could get more pickups, but I think that with all the gaming exclusives that are coming out, that you kind of, if you do get one, you have to announce one at the right time.
Yes.
Sort of a dead period for them. I mean, I think it's a good pickup for them. They're rumored to do the Metal Gear remasters or remakes.
Yes,
right?
That was flying around that they're gonna be doing the Metal Gear remakes. I'm assuming with Kojima on board too, though.
I think the three to me is Kojima, Blue Point, and I really do feel that there's something in the Remedy studio.
Yes.
I feel like there's something that you can honestly make out of that Control Alan Wake world.
And they also did Max Payne 1 and 2. A lot of people forgot that. Because Rockstar made Max Payne 3.
Yeah, I think there's something that you can honestly do with that. I think that's... And if they tie it together correctly, I think it could be something very, very big for them.
Yeah.
But... You know, I did see that Remedy, someone from Remedy posted this big binder of their very next game.
Yeah, it was huge, right?
Yeah, and he said this was like one of like 2 or 3. It was a huge binder of like the storytelling of whatever game that was.
And Control was very fun. I think the story died down a little bit for me.
Yeah.
Towards the middle portion of the game, the beginning I really loved, but the middle to end was a little, like, not the control of the game and the feeling of the game. The game is really fun to play. There's the story. We didn't get enough info yet. They left a lot of doors open, and I think they did that on purpose, obviously, because I think, like you said, they're connecting this to Alan Wake, and there's a potential series of this coming down the line, I think. Because that game was huge for a lot of people. That game won Game of the Year at IGN last year.
Right. And what you could honestly do, and
or 2019, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lou.
And now they have full control of Alan Wake now. So you could really do a remake
Microsoft
of Alan Wake.
Does not own that IP anymore.
Nope. So you could do a full remake, for the PlayStation, Xbox audience, for them, they'll just be playing it over again. But for the PlayStation audience.
Yes.
So you could, and I just... Alan Wake is something that will appear, if a PlayStation person, just a PlayStation person, just play PlayStation, I think it's something that will be appealing to them. So, and I think it's really important to get that studio to be under Sony.
Okay.
Because they deal with a whole different type of element that we really don't see as much.
By the way,
and I think that's cool.
Everything we said anyway could potentially happen already, like months ago. These things take a long time when you acquire a studio. It's not out in the open right away. It takes a long time. It's a huge process. A lot of funding, a lot of exchanging, stocks and stuff. It takes a long time. So, I think Lou hit it on the head. I think Sony is still going to potentially pick some stuff up. I think Blue Point, I think Kojima and Remedy are all smart moves. I also think they're not going to pick up Konami, but they're going to make deals with Konami to do Silent Hill, Metal Gear, and Castlevania. I believe in that rumor already. I think we just talked about the Team Siren team potentially doing Silent Hill. And Kojima potentially being producer of, a bunch of stuff. Metal Gear, remake. I think they've shown a lot of effort to go get Kojima and let him make the game he wanted. So I'd be shocked if he doesn't want to work with them again. Because of the freedom he had. And Konami, they're making a shit ton of money with their pachinko machines and stuff like that. And they're not really seen in great light of the gaming community and fan base right now because they have some of the coolest IPs, but they're all like dead in the water right now. And they all been kind of ruined, per se. So I think there's a possibility. I think they could do a deal. I think that rumor has some truth to it. All of it could be BS. I think Lou makes a lot of great points. I want to thank JJ and Lou for joining me today. I had Capcom on here, but I don't know if that's a realistic possibility. It could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think they'll just keep making exclusive deals with Square Enix and Capcom. They already did with God of War. Wow. What's it called? Final Fantasy 16, right?
What you're doing is with that. If that actually works out, you could honestly buy that studio later on because you're building trust with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
they've had a lot of trust for many, many years. When Nintendo rejected Square, that's why Final Fantasy VII got made in the first place on PlayStation because of disc format. Sony has been backstabbed by Nintendo, so that's why they have been very angry at Nintendo. That's why they don't always play very nice with the Nintendo. But I want to thank Lou and my cousin JJ. He just missed the last couple that we were talking about, but we spent a good amount of time talking. I know a lot of it was kind of Last of Us Part 2. I'm glad we made JJ cry. Right, Lou?
I mean, we could talk about Last of Us Part 2 for for
5-6 hours. 10 hours, I know.
Yeah,
forever.
We've talked about Last of Us Part 2. It's a really controversial game, so.
It is, and I think we all made great points, and I think JJ handled it well. I'm not ripping on anybody that really does enjoy that game and stuff like that. If you really do, no problem to you. I played it twice, platinum it. It's cool, but I think they really did drop the ball in that game. But hey, this has been episode 55 of GG and Friends. Shout out to Lou, shout out to JJ, shout out to everybody that was here. Derek, Joel, Savage, Seth, and Chad, and Chuck. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the love, guys. Make sure you smash the hell out of the like button. Comment down below. I've been your fellow Strauss man of the GG. And Lou, we're outie.
See ya.